Ratchet and Clank is a game series that has remained dormant for quite a while now, since its last release on the PlayStation 4. The last game was indeed the Ratchet and Clank remake, which was created tied in with the brand new movie which came out, both of which were very well received. Well, the movie wasn't, but the game was very highly praised amongst communities new and old. It also went on to becoming the highest selling game in the Ratchet and Clank franchise, and it netted Sony quite a bit of money. So really, when you think about it, a new game is inevitable, and that is certainly the case. Now, by no means was Ratchet and Clank the PS4 remake was it perfect? It certainly wasn't. I'm sure you can find quite a few videos on the internet critiquing this game, including one of my own videos which I made quite a long time ago, where I said that the game is still Ratchet and Clank, but it lost its spirit, and you know, it wasn't as good as it could have been. But I do believe that was because it was linked with the movie. They were really limited in what they could do. But the question I want to raise here is, Ratchet and Clank going to return this year? Not this year, next year. I strongly believe that we are getting a new Ratchet and Clank game next year, but I hear you saying Super B 1996. They're currently making Spider-Man, and that game looks absolutely amazing. Obviously, all of Insomniac's time and money has gone into this project. Yes, I understand where you're coming from there, but it is definitely possible for big studios like this to actually work on more than one game at a time. I mean, Insomniac were making loads of VR stuff while making Spider-Man. Naughty Dog have done it. They were making Uncharted 4 while also making Last of Us Part 2. It is highly possible, and from this year on, it has been 2 years. Oh my god, 2 years, that's a long time. It's been 2 years since the PS4 game actually released. So it has been quite a while now, and I think 3 years is enough, I think, in terms of Ratchet and Clank development time, because I have the engine there to work with. They can just build a new game on there if they so wish. Now, Spider-Man on PS4 is looking incredible. This game is looking to be one of the best PS4 exclusives out there. The whole open world aspect of it, the graphics are stunning. Everything about this Spider-Man game is absolutely stunning. Now, I'm not saying the Ratchet and Clank game on PS4 wasn't stunning, but you can definitely tell that the Spider-Man game has a higher budget than the Ratchet and Clank game on the PlayStation 4. But what if that kind of time and budget could go into the next Ratchet and Clank? Now, I have a debate in my head as to whether or not this new Ratchet and Clank would actually release on PS4 or whether it would release on the PS5. Because whether we like it or not, next gen is coming. I believe that we're going to hear all about next gen next year, because I certainly am starting to feel this generation starting to fizzle out, only just slightly. But I do believe we're getting new consoles very soon, hopefully in the next year. So maybe the new Ratchet and Clank could be a launch title for the new PlayStation. Who knows? I mean, I don't mind it either way, as long as the scale of the game is definitely increased. I feel like Ratchet and Clank has always been the same kind of game, and it needs another step in the evolution chain to become even better. Very similar to how the Future trilogy went from the classic games. That was a massive leap. And then when you look at the PS4 game, it felt like a bit of a step backwards from the Future games. So hopefully the next step forward is an evolution on everything that, you know, has come before it. I think Ratchet and Clank could be something spectacular. Maybe bigger worlds, better story. Just everything can be just. You can really work on this Ratchet and Clank universe. It could just end up being absolutely stunning. So what do I think this game could actually be? Well, Ratchet and Clank obviously is in a bit of a weird state at the moment. We had the remake, and I don't know whether the remake was Insomniac's attempt of restarting the whole Ratchet and Clank universe, because maybe they felt like the Future trilogy got too messy and they just wanted to start again. If that is the case, and they're still sticking with that, then that means we're probably going to get a Ratchet and Clank 2 remake next. So, Ratchet and Clank going Commando HD, if you want to call it that. But at the same time, I think if they were to do a sequel to this remake, if they were doing a direct sequel to the remake, I don't think it would be directly the same as number 2. I think they'd go for a whole new direction. So this could I think this could go about 3 ways. It's either going to go in a new direction, it's going to be a direct sequel to the PS4 game, because obviously now that the PS4 game is the highest selling in the franchise, it's just bringing a whole new audience, and they're going to want to capitalise on all of that. Very similar to the way how Pokemon right now are going with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. They're closing in on the casual audience that love Pokemon Go, even though the main game's still going to come out next year. They've incorporated Pokemon Go elements into this new title, just to bring in the newer fans who are obviously going to lap this up, even though the hardcore fans are a bit like, I don't know. So that is why I think that could happen. The second thing is they're going to continue straight on from the Future Trilogy. So whatever happens after that saga now, whatever happened to after Ratchet and Clank Nexus is going to be the next game. I don't know, to be honest. I feel like the future games were quite a while ago now, and which they were, especially Nexus was 2013. I feel like Insomniac would want to try a fresh break with Ratchet and Clank, so it's either going to be a future game or start of a brand new saga. I don't know. I would like to see the start of a brand new saga. I don't want it to continue the future. I just want it. I want a fresh start of Ratchet and Clank, but I still want it to continue on from the timeline which was already made over the last few years. And then the third one I'm theorising about is a prequel game, which I've seen a few videos on the internet about a prequel game for Ratchet and Clank. I think that would be a pretty sick idea. Be able to see Ratchet and Clank's dad, Ratchet's dad Caden with Azimuth from A Crack in Time. I think that would be a really interesting way to go about this, I think. Because the Ratchet and Clank series is actually so deep with lore now since the Future series. It has got a lot of detail, and I just want to explore all of that. I just want to get into the lore of the games and really hone in on what, you know, makes up the Ratchet and Clank universe. I love it so much, and that's what I think these next games could possibly be. If you've got any other ideas as to what type of Ratchet and Clank game could be next, let me know in the comment section below. In terms of gameplay, I want it to still be the base Ratchet and Clank game. I don't want to do another full frontal assault or all for one. I would definitely want it to be your standard Ratchet and Clank. I want them to fix Ratchet's design, for Christ's sake. Stop making him all cute and small and everything. Just make him like his Crack in Time design, please. Just fix that. And also I want the gameplay to be expanded in a similar way that A Crack in Time did for the series. Hopefully open world space again, and make the worlds bigger. I've seen games with bigger worlds on the same scale as Ratchet and Clank. I think making the worlds feel a bit more explorable would definitely be something that I would like to see from a Ratchet and Clank game. Definitely, really. I mean, I've always wanted to see that, and maybe just small. You can have your normal worlds, and maybe in a similar fashion to what A Crack in Time did, have some smaller levels, sprinkled across space and stuff. I think generally, that would be absolutely sick. I think basically they should go off the skeleton of A Crack in Time, whether you like that game or not. I think that is the best in terms of gameplay, story, everything. It's not my favourite in terms of my personal favourite. It's not my personal favourite Ratchet and Clank. That would go to number 3 because I love that game to death. But in terms of actual how good the game is, it is definitely the best in the series. It is definitely the strongest one there. It has the most features. It has the most story in it. The weapons were interesting. It was just I can go back to A Crack in Time and play that countless times and still enjoy it today, whereas the PS4 game I don't really find myself going back to that much anymore, just mainly because it lacks what the Ratchet and Clank games had before it, which is really unfortunate. And I will actually make a video about the PS4 game in the near future and why I feel like that game really wasn't as good as it could have been. So that's it from this video, my guys. Don't forget to leave a comment down below and let me know your opinions on this. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like it, subscribe, and hit that post notification button so you can actually see whenever I upload, because this YouTube algorithm loves pushing smaller YouTubers aside. Not a dig there, I'm joking. But that's it from this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I will chat to you guys later on. Peace!